There's little doubt the world is heating up. Scientists warn that more extreme droughts, floods, and rising seas are on the way unless fossil fuel emissions are reduced. The meeting in Lima sets the stage for a binding treaty next year in Paris. Momentum has been building toward that goal, says Jennifer Morgan, Global Director of the Climate Program at the World Resources Institute.
Going into the Secretary General's New York summit, where you had a whole range of different commitments from business, from cities, you had heads of state there from over 120 countries, you had 700,000 people in the streets around the world saying they care about this. Then bounce into European heads of state in October saying, here's our offer to reduce at least 40% emissions.
Then this month, China and the United States, the world's top polluters, signed an agreement. The U.S. committed to reducing emissions between 26% and 28% by 2025. And for the first time, China put a timetable on its actions, saying emissions would peak by 2030. Morgan says China must begin making massive cuts now.
It's not like they're going to wait 16 years. They actually have to shut down coal-fired power plants. They have to build up renewable energy. They have to be much more efficient in order to turn that curve.
The deal puts China in a leadership role for the first time. Other countries are expected to put their reduced emission commitments on the table by March. Morgan says the U.S.-China announcement is a strategic move that could energize other nations to do more.
If you look at developed countries, it's fair to say that Australia or Canada haven't indicated when they are going to table their offer. Well, if China can offer something, certainly they can offer something too. And in developing countries, I think a country like India or Brazil, I think now are challenged to table their offers as well.
Morgan says it's critical to close the emissions gap between what cuts are needed and what countries are expected to pledge. She says each nation will make reductions in its own way through national policy and laws, but only a global agreement with binding commitments can exert pressure to get the job done.
So it's in the interest of every country to actually have a global approach so that they can be sure that what they're doing is being mirrored by others.
Morgan hopes the Lima meeting will end with a text for a new treaty, one that will guide negotiators and lead governments to act. Rosanne Skirble, VOA News, Washington.